Kind of a busy road. Don't know if you can hear me very well. But these are all the cars sitting in the back of a lot. They're all for sale. All brand new Palisades, however you say it. All brand new. Well, good Saturday afternoon, everybody. It's Jan with Guided Path Conversations, and I'm here with you on this balmy 82-degree day up here in northern South Florida to talk a little bit about the state of car sales in the United States today. And again, how that's going to affect your personal economy. So, welcome. Thanks for joining me today. And let's kind of get into it, okay? I just showed you some footage of a car lot here in my town, and I have watched over the past several months the number of cars increase onto this lot. And this is the dealer's spare lot where they're putting all their extra cars that they have in inventory that aren't selling, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And I'm on this street quite frequently, and there was a time where I wasn't on that street, and then all of a sudden I was like, wow, it really increased. In fact, I didn't even walk down all the way to show you. They even have like a smaller lot, I think, that they own with more cars on it. So they have quite the inventory. And I don't know if you've noticed or if you've heard what the average new car price is in America right now. Any guesses? It's $50,000. That is the average price for a new car in the United States. Isn't that crazy? $50,000. I bought my first townhouse in 1994 and it wasn't even $50,000. So that's just insanity to me. And then you say, well, Jan, just go buy a used car. Why buy new? Buy used. Okay. The average used car price in America is now $25,000. Yes, you can find some deals and all that kind of stuff, and we're just talking averages from coast to coast. So there you have it. Those are some large numbers. And right now, we have in the United States right now, the total amount of loans for autos just passed $1.65 trillion. It's with a T, not a B. Trillion dollars in auto loans right now in our country. That's huge. So like you saw the video, inventory. There's a lot of inventory on these dealer lots right now. In fact, we're talking, I have some statistics, so sorry, I have to look down a little bit. 2.9 million new cars are in inventory from coast to coast right now. And that is about an 80-day supply of new vehicles. And what I learned from the Clark Howard show is a dealer usually has about 30 days of inventory on their lot because they sell enough and they turn it over. But right now they're at almost 3 times that. So that's not a good sign when you have that much inventory, because obviously the cars aren't selling. And for used cars, it's about 2.26 million vehicles are on lots available for sale, and that's about a 48-day supply of inventory. So inventory is going up. In fact, the inventory supply doesn't even reflect the pre-pandemic norms. So we have some segments of cars like luxury cars and EV cars that are oversupplied in relation to demand. Obviously, EV cars, hybrid cars, and luxury cars are more than that $50,000 average. And again, law of averages, they're in that figure and they cost a lot, right? So there's a lot of those that are rising and not selling as quickly. Kelley Blue Book made a quote and said that the US $20,000 car is basically extinct. You're not going to find brand new cars at that price point anymore. Kind of like the good old days are gone, right? That $50,000 average price is a 3.6% increase from last year. So we've hit another level. So we had a high level last year. We've hit a new higher level this year. And that's, you know, like I said, the average car price is going up because of the EVs and the luxury cars. That's what people were wanting. And there were some mandates from the government about EV technology and everything. But how much is it to buy a car? Well, I told you the price, but most people aren't coming in there with a suitcase of $50,000 to buy their car. So for new cars, again, law of averages, the average payment on a car right now is $749 over 69 months. So it's over 5 years. Like 5 years was always the normal, 60 months, right? Well, now on average it's 69, which means people are going 6 years and some people are going 7, and I've even heard of 8-year loans. I mean, 5 years is long enough, right, for your car, but to go 6, 7, 8, just to be able to afford that payment, that's crazy, okay? That's a lot. The used car average loan payment is $529, which is still a lot of money. I was thinking about when I bought my first car, not the one my parents, I was very fortunate, my parents gave me a beater Toyota Corolla to get me around when I was in high school. But, and yes, I was responsible for all the insurance, the gas, and the upkeep of that vehicle. My parents, they didn't pay for that. They bought me a car and they're like, okay, here it is. You have a job. Now you can take care of it. But when I bought my first car, and I think that was probably like 1991, 92, I remember my car payment was $191, and it was probably a 4-year loan because my father wouldn't let me pay for a 5-year loan. So times have changed. So we're seeing that delinquencies are rising on auto loans as well across the country right now. Why are our cars costing us so much? Okay, well, we're still reeling from the supply chain issues that was happening during the health crisis. There was the chip shortages, supply chain was down. That's finally gotten caught up, and there's been a shift in what the consumer wants. So now they're looking for more trucks, SUVs. You know, there was a big need for EVs, luxury kinds of cars, you know, a couple of years ago. And people just don't want a car, like a normal car anymore. You know, everyone needs something bigger and better and what have you. So there's more of a demand for that. Of course, we know interest rates have gone up for car loans. And the other factor is that people are keeping their cars longer and there's fewer trade-ins, which is why the used car market is struggling as well, and why those prices are high, because some people are keeping their cars longer and there's no trade-ins. So what's going to happen? So now you saw my one lot here where I live, and does that mean like a car dealership is going to start offering more incentives to try to get you in? They can't really control the interest rates. You know, are the prices going to stay the same? Are they going to have slower increases? Are they going to go back down? Those are all possibilities. Will smaller cars come back out to the market because they are more affordable? Maintenance is less, gas is less, hopefully insurance is less. Insurance is a whole nother video. And then what's going to happen with the hybrid and the EVs? How is that going to impact the market? I'm not 100% certain, but I think some of those mandates from the government went away. So if you know for sure, comment below about that. Love to hear your thoughts on it. You know, there's a greater risk for the car dealerships as they sit on this inventory. You know, there's more of a financial risk for them. And affordability is going to be the new watchword, right? If interest rates don't decrease, the demand is going to soften. And that could give us more incentives, like I talked about, and more price stabilization. And that would be a great outcome, because then, you know, maybe you can afford to get into that newer car or a used car. Maybe you can upgrade finally. So how does all this affect your personal economy? That's what I'm all about, right? How does this affect your personal economy? If you don't have to, don't buy a new car, okay? There isn't a law that says you need a new car every 2 to 3 years. I kept my car. I'll tell you a little bit about my personal story here. I had a Toyota Corolla. It was a 2006, and I drove that thing until this year. And I was still under 200,000 miles on it, believe it or not. It was almost 20 years old. It was, you know, gonna need another paint job. We've done some maintenance. I think it was 2023. I probably dumped a couple $1,000 into that car because, you know, things were kind of getting old and breaking down and what have you. So that year I decided, you know what, 2024, I'm gonna pay myself a car payment for a whole year. So 2024, I saved a car payment in an account for myself all year. I got to about $10,000, and I decided it was time to go buy a new car. New for me. So again, you can do something like that. If your car's running fine, you don't go buy a new one. Okay, don't get the car fever. Maintenance, maintenance, maintenance. That's probably the best thing you can do for your vehicle right now. Are you washing it regularly? Keep it clean. Clean under the hood. Take care of your battery. Keep your tires inflated. Do your oil change. Take out the manual. Do whatever it says to do, right? Maintain your car. It should run for a long time. I talked about a car fund already for your future purchase. I'm already starting, even though I bought a newer car. I bought this in February. And like I said in the previous video, I'm 1.5 years ahead on my car payments. And yes, I do have car payments, but I'm trying to knock it out as quickly as I can, making extras and what have you. But I decided, you know what, I'm going to start, and I can't take much on my paycheck, but I am going to start taking a little bit out of my paycheck and setting it aside, because, you know, I don't know if this car is going to last 20 years like my Toyota did. So I'd like to think so, but you don't know. So start a new fund. And that's what I'm doing with my paycheck from last week. And if you are looking for a car, just be patient. Okay? Watch the new car fever. And since I just had it a couple months ago, I understand it. Like, you just want that car now, you know, like, and the smell of the new car, and oh, it looks so cool, and it's so much better than mine and everything. It's okay. There's a lot of them out there. Shop around, and most importantly, don't ever overextend your budget. You don't want to do that. You have more power than you think. Okay? If you wait a little bit longer, that decision protects your wallet. Okay? So don't rush into it. Know that you as the buyer are now holding the power, because these car dealerships have a ton of inventory, and when they see you coming, you have to be the strong one. Be willing to walk away, negotiate, 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 shop it around, and don't overextend yourself, because they're going to try to talk you into it, right? They did it to me. I walked out one night. I just got up and walked out, and it was like, What an empowering feeling that was. So don't get suckered into anything. You know what your budget is, you know what you can afford, and if you have to get a car, make sure you work out those numbers ahead of time. Okay? So having said that, have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I will be back on Wednesday with a new video, and we're going to talk about the signs that you need to look for or look out for in your company when layoffs are looming. So I look forward to seeing you then. Like, share, and subscribe. Leave me any feedback in the Google Doc below, and I will see you